Okay. Assalamualaikum and very good morning to everybody, to all the lecturers, staff, postgraduate, undergraduates, and also the friends and audience from outside. Maybe you're watching through FB Live, but now we are live in the meeting room, School of the Arts. Me, together with the presenter today, Dr. Siti Rohaya, we present the research project and share the knowledge regarding oil palm fruits. So before we start, I would like to introduce our presenter, Dr. Siti Rohaya. So Dr. Siti Rohaya is the whole bachelor's textile design and master degree design and technology from the University of Technology Mara. And before that, she obtained her doctorate in textile design from University Malaya in 2019, I think, right? So she also received a scholarship under Colombo Scholarship Plan by the government of India and hold a professional certificate on textile technology and quality control from the South India Textile Research Association. And her service in University Malaysia Sarawak as textile lecturer more than 4 years. And currently she is holding a position as a fine art lecturer at School of the Arts in University Sains Malaysia, Penang. So before we waste our time, so I will you can start the presentation by, are you ready? Okay, so we'll start the presentation right now. Before that, before end of this session, all of you need to fill out the attendance form and service form. We will upload later, maybe 10 or 15 minutes before end session. So Dr. Rohaya, this is yours.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Subhanallah azim, subhanallah bihamdik. Assalamualaikum and good morning. First of all, thank you very much to Dr. Siti Rohaya for inviting me to share my research on oil palm fiber. This research, I hope that after you listen to this research, this can open your mind to involve with materials and fabrics and also products and craft. Okay, let's we start with the origins of oil palm tree, because we know that our country is the main commodity for our country is oil palm, but we doesn't know the history, the origins of oil palm tree. Okay, oil palm industry in Malaysia. Okay, actually the oil palm tree is a tropical plant that grows in warm climates at altitude of less than 1,600 feet above sea level. The origins of oil palm is believed to have been in Africa, tropical Africa, and occur in wild and semi-wild growth along the western coast in narrow belt from Senegal to Angola. So this is more area of Africa area. Okay. And the botanical names of oil palm tree is Ileus guensis. Okay. According to the Malaysian Palm Oil Berhad, the introductions of oil palm in South Asia began with 4 seedlings, 2 from Mauritius and 2 from Amsterdam. Both were planted in Java in 1848 at Botanical Gardens, Bogor. Bogor is near with North Jakarta. In 1870, seedling derived from this palm were planted economic garden Singapore. Then in 1878, more seedlings were taken back to Bogor to be grown. Okay, this is all the histories of how oil palm started in Malaysia. Okay, then in 1911, oil palm from Delhi, known as Delhi Dora, were brought to Malaysia and planted as ornamental plants at Rantanjang, Kuala Selangor. This is a mark of the beginnings of oil palms in. These seeds from Rantau Panjang were planted in Tanah. Then after that, seeds from Rantau Panjang were planted at Tanah Estate in 1917 by Henry Faulkner, and this marked the beginning of initial commercial planting of oil palm in Malaysia. However, after over than 50 years, this industry is still not really aggressive, which is not really still below par that our Malaysian our government expectations. So they have a lot of research developments during the 50 years. Then after that, Malaysia now, after more than 100 years, okay, after more than 100 years in Malaysia, now Malaysia has become the most matured producer of the palm oil industry in the world. Malaysia now has been moving forward with more research and development on oil palm biomass. And currently, oil palm biomass is considered as a waste material from oil palm plantations and factories, which material can be obtained easily and cheaply. Don't misunderstand, oil palm is a tree, but palm oil is a oil, okay? So we have two industries here, palm oil and also oil palm biomass. Okay, currently oil palm biomass is considered as a waste material from oil palm plantations and factory, as I said just now, which material can be obtained easily and cheaply. The oil palm biomass consists of empty fruit bunches, oil palm fronds, oil palm trunks, and palm fiber and palm oil waste. Okay, according to Israel, oil palm waste considered as a waste from factory, okay, and plantation, which are not really utilized towards a better biomass also has become one of the low value factory waste, which brings problem to the plantation due to the large quantity of disposal material. Okay. As you can see, this waste in the plantations, and this is air pollution, which is this way can also cause environmental pollution. This issue actually been raised more than 20 years ago by several researchers regarding the waste and also the air pollutions, environmental pollutions. So Malaysia embarked more research into these problems, which is they start with the biomass composite. Okay, start to introduce biomass composite that we can use for others industry. Okay, a lot research found that EFP, empty fruit bunches, can be used in various forms of the manufacturing industry, especially involving with biocomposite. EFB has also investigate as a raw material for building materials, solid fuel pellets, chemical products, pulp and paper. Okay. Let me introduce you what is empty fruit bunches. Empty fruit bunch. Empty fruit bunch is a general term for the fiber being extracted from palm. Okay, as you can see from the right, on the right. Okay, that is this one is a oil palm EFB, empty fruit bunch. EFB fiber can further classify into shredded fiber. The fiber is very light and can absorb a lot of water without congealing. To become usable fiber, the FB palm goes through process which involve EFB palm to shredded, separated, refined, and dried. So there's a lot of method and process before it can be used for others product to produce others product. Okay. EFB can be used in various forms of the manufacturing industry. As I said just now, EFB has also invested in raw material and environmental friendly for building materials, landscaping, land erosion control, soil stabilizations, caustic control, and pulp and paper. These also can be used for fiber mattress, fiber board, cushions, rug, carpet, and roof manufacturing. Therefore, in this research, the focus on the use of EFB fiber and how it can be used as a material in producing yarn and woven fabric. I try to utilize this material to produce something valuable for in textile industry. This is the identifications of fiber EFB fibers, which is moisture content, length of the fibers. This is filament fibers. The color, strong, thick, rough, oily, adequate moisture, and fibrous. Okay, this is all the properties of EFB fibers. Okay, through this research, the main of this research actually explore the utilization of oil palm fiber from EFB in producing yarn and can be used as an alternative material in producing fabrics and craft products. Okay, let me see for the innovations and development, the methodologies of this research. The methods of this research is involved with collections of data and the study of process of the process of making EFB into yarns and woven fabrics. This research is also undergoes a few steps of fiber extraction process, the selections of quality fibers. I will show you the processing method of EFB fibers, yarn, and fabrics. Okay, this is the step before it turn into product. Okay, the processing of EFB into yarn and woven fabric involve a number of steps, several involving and also involving with laboratory work and the application of chemical agents. This experimental research attempt to design an appropriate methodology productions and include the particular chemical agents and formulations, which is maybe that chemical agent and formulations might be useful for us in future. Okay, all scientifics, this also involved with scientific and non-scientific approach, which is involved with standard tool, equipment, advanced machineries and chemicals, and also several steps of chemicals and equipment that need to be used in this research. Okay, the first step is fibers extraction process, which is cleaning, selecting, scoring, and bleaching. Okay, in my research, actually, I use two types of EFB, which is first is fresh EFB, and second is dry EFB. The second one, dry EFB, I get actually this is from factory. Okay, the fresh no, both from factory, but fresh AFB you need to process, you need to cleaning, you need to boiling that fresh AFB. But in my case, I use dry FB, which I buy from factories, the processed FB fibers. Okay. For cleaning, after that, after all the fiber extraction process, we go to fibers dyeing process, and then after dyeing process, then we go for fiber spinning process. After fiber spinning process, we go for fiber yarn structures and properties test. I will explain step by step all this process, and you will see the what is meant by spinning fiber extraction process, what is meant by spinning process. Okay. Okay, this is what we call fiber extraction process. First, we need to clean. Okay, we need to clean the by boiling, beating, and steaming the fibers. The purpose of the fiber extraction process is to remove the impurities. Impurities such as dirty, dirt, and also a few of the greens and the oil from the EFB. Okay. The scoring process, and after that boiling. Boiling is we have to boil the EFB. See in the first picture here. Okay. We need to boil until the oil, the greens and the impurities removed from EFB. Okay, after that we scoring process is is used for remove the impurities from the EFB fibers and also from the FB yarn and EFB fabrics. Okay, then we go to bleaching process. The bleaching process actually is aimed to whiten the loose fibers, yarn and fabrics, and prepare them for subsequent colors applications. Before we dye that fibers, that fabrics or yarns, we need to bleach that fibers. Okay? And then after that, we go for spinning process. Spinning process is the process of creating yarn actually. Okay? This is, as you can see, the second picture, the 3.52, this is all palm fibers. And this is the machines, front view of the electronic spinning machines, ESM. Okay. In spinning process, separate fibers are twisted together to bind them into a stronger and long yarn. So that is how we make a yarn. It's yarn and thread. Okay. In this spinning process, the rough, thick texture and the inconsistent length of the test material result in breakage of the fiber occur during the spinning process. Okay, the characteristic of the yarn vary based on the material used, fiber length and alignment, quantity of fiber used, and degree of twist. So we need to really understand how many. If we want to produce fine fiber, fine yarn, fine thread, so we need to calculate how many fibers that we want to use, and how we want to twist that fibers, whether S twist or Z twist. Okay. Okay. After that, we go for yarn testing. So yarn testing is a quite tough. I can say that it's quite tough for this research, because you know the yarns breakage, and then it's also the properties of that materials. Okay, In this test, we examine 3 tests. Okay, first is yarn size analysis. Second is yarn twisting test. For yarn twisting test, TPI is meant for twist per inch, or TPCM is twist per centimeter. Okay, another one is single yarn size and elongation test. Okay, because every yarn has its own specific characteristic in terms of size, number, and twist strength. So we need to gather all these tests, run all these tests to get the better result and to get the good and quality yarn. Okay. The first test is the yarn size analysis test. Thickness and fineness are examined according to 2 measurements: cotton count analysis and linen count analysis. However, in this research, I only use cotton count analysis. Okay. The result of the cotton count analysis shows that the average weight of twisted EFB fibers is 0.3617 gram. Okay. And the second test, after that, I followed yarn twisting test. This test is intended to determine the number of twists per centimeter of yarn and the optimum number of twists in a strand of yarns. Okay. Okay. Okay, in this research, a 10 centimeter length of yarn from my sample, is examined under the twist counter to determine the number of twists it contains. Okay, it's something like how many twists you will get during the process, the twisting process. Okay, the result of this test shows that the average number of twists per centimeter, I use twist per centimeter, not twist per inch. Twist per centimeter of EFB yarn is 1.58 per centimeter. Okay, and then the final test is single yarn size and elongation test. This test is to measure the strength of the EFB yarn. In this test, which it shows that EFB yarn can be elongated up to 65.7 millimeter. That the force required to break the yarn is 19.07 Newton. A seed can withstand a high degree of force and is suitable for weaving process. So from this test, it shows that this yarn, can be used for weaving. I think weaving also we have warp and weft. With warp is a weft is a horizontal. Warp is a vertical. Okay. Okay, then we go for dyeing process. Dyeing actually, we go for 3 types of dyeing process. First is fibers, and second is yarn dyeing, and third is fabric dyeing. So this all 3 process I've been through. Okay. From my experience, I can say that fibers dyeing much more better than yarn dyeing or fabric dyeing. Okay, because when you do fiber dyeing, all the dyes absorb very even, very good, very even in all the surface of yarns. Very deep. Yep. Okay. Then we go for weaving process. The development of weaving arts nowadays has gone through evolution, especially in terms of material use and the weaving techniques. So in this experimental research, I apply several weaving techniques, which is involved with plain weave, double cloth, twill weave, these three, and also tapestry. Okay. The objective of this weaving experiment is to use the EFB yarn as a weft yarn. See whether EFB yarn can be used as a weft, and it can be woven in plain weave techniques without affecting the weft yarn structure from broken off. Okay. In this research, we try several steps, several tests, and not only we use for weft, we also use for warp yarn. However, FB yarn is not for as a warp yarn because the single yarn strand are easily broken during the weaving process. So I can say that this only can use. Okay, the length of FB yarn for the warp needs to be shorter. Okay, to reduce the potential of yarn breakage. Okay, means that yarn, the warp yarn, we cannot use the long yarn. We only can use short yarn, which is to avoid from breakage the yarn. Okay, the ideal size of EFB yarn as a warp is between 15 cm and 20 cm. The FB yarn will break if the yarn used in the warp exceed that size limit. Okay, is using plain weave technique. Very simple, warp and weft. Okay, and then this is combination twill and also varieties of yarn. And beside of using only EFB yarn, I also use synthetic yarns. Okay, the combination woven techniques in experiment 2. And then number 3 is a tapestry woven techniques. Okay, so you can see the difference between three artwork here. Okay, plain weave, twill and plain weave, and another one is tapestry. Okay, this is woven EFB woven product. I'm making shoes making actually. This one. This is the process of shoes making. Okay. Okay. As a conclusions, based on the methodology that incorporates scientific tests, okay, as well as traditional fiber productions and weaving techniques, UFB fiber were proven to have potential as processed yarn and woven fabrics. So I can say that yes, it's quite difficult to use that material, that fibers, because in terms of fiber extraction process is quite tough. Okay, you have to go to lab, you have to go to factory mills, collect all the materials. But in the end, the result that you get is a very positive result, which is had positive result upon the surface texture and structures of the fibers, yarn and fabrics. The yarn and fabrics become cleaner, whiter, and softer after treatments. This is all the fiber extraction process, scorings, bleachings, and also cleanings. The fabrics appear more attractive after dyeing, which also give a unique look to the woven products. The most significant finding in this research, stations and mills can be recycled as a new material for producing useful and attractive woven fabrics. This is hoped can become a guideline for future research in this area, particularly for art and design students in furthering this study regarding reprocessing of palm leaves. It's also can help to generate additional income for oil palm farmers, biomass oil palm industry, as well as handicraft organizations. So thank you.
So thank you very much, Dr. Siti Rohaya, for the very interesting topics. Uh, for you guys, if you have any question regarding this topic, you can either ask directly here to Webex, or you can put your question in the comments behind our Webex, or you can send your comment in the FB Live also, because we also live from FB Live. So please, if you have any question, okay, before we wait for a question from the audience, I will ask you regarding the products, the textile that you already make it. Boleh buka yang slide tadi tak?
Okay.
Yang ada kain tu. So how many percentage of each material? You said that you use fabric, you use FB or yarn, and also synthetic to make it your artwork. Is it?
This one. Okay.
Tak nampak. Share the screen.
Okay.
Yang ada tiga apa tu? Tiga artwork tu. Sebelum conclusion, I think.
This one, right?
Yes, this one. This is made from different material or
This is
same material?
combination of FB yarn and also combination with synthetic yarn. Okay, both all three artwork is combination from synthetic and FB yarn.
So, how many percent that you put the FB?
I
How
can
many
see that
percent?
60% from FB yarns and 40% from synthetic yarn. It's a cotton yarn and also polyester yarn.
How about the EFT?
EFT 60%.
60%. Okay.
For the wool, I use synthetic.
Uh-huh.
The weft, I use EFT and the combinations with the synthetic.
Why you put weft?
I also have
Is it because of the effect of the strength? So you need to put.
We cannot, as I said just now, if we use EFT yarn as a wool, so sometimes when during the weaving process, the yarn will breakation.
Okay.
Because maybe because of the twisting of technique, we have S and Z twist. So sometimes when we pull the what we call loom, that one sometimes it's quite hard for that material to stand alone.
Okay.
Okay, as you can see here, this is this is spool of yarn.
Okay. So, what types of standard that you use for the testing you have done before? Meaning, I noticed that you come up with three type of testing, before and after. Is it testing for size analysis and for elongation break? What types of standard that you follow to make it this testing? The standard meaning that the ISO.
Yes, I follow the ISO standard.
Malaysian standard or
International okay.
Maybe in textile they have a special standards concentrate on the textile or fabric. So is it they have a special?
When I did this research, I follow the SIRIM standards. Okay, SIRIM standard, which you need to go for test. Okay, so I also follow the ISO standard, SIRIM and ISO, which is these both are really important when you produce the products or materials when you use them. Yes, that is compulsory for producing products. Produce product.
So any question from the audience? Any question from the FB? Because
Okay, let me show you. I show you.
Student, if you have any question, please don't shy. Put your comment in the your question in the comment.
Okay, as you can see from here, this is sample of EFB fabrics after scoring process. Okay, as you can see the close up of the EFB fabric sample. Okay, this is before bleaching. So the color still dark brown. Then when you go for bleaching, then it turn into whiter than before. Okay, so once you want to do dyeing, okay, dyeing process, so you need to bleach your fabrics or your fibers.
How many days? How many days you need to bleach this AFD to make it whiter?
Actually, just a few minutes.
2 minutes. It's like Clorox.
We use hydrogen peroxide, and also sodium silicate.
Meaning that if we just leave it until one day and one night, so
Because
the
it's
color will change.
okay. I use scientific and non-scientific approach. In scientific, it took about less than 20 minutes for
Okay.
bleaching. But for non-scientific, which is traditional way, which is I use Clorox and hydrogen peroxide. We need to measure the quantity of the hydrogen peroxide. It's about more than 1 day to bleach that fabric.
Okay. Nampak macam I like banyak question.
I think maybe because this is more
Yeah, maybe because this is really relate with me and with us
scientific.
and product design also. But from this material yarn and EFB, actually you can make it so many products, arts, craft,
Not
based from
only
this
skin.
material, right? It's a very
Actually,
wise.
the process actually not only for EFB fibers, but you can use other fibers.
This material, yeah, I can see.
For example, like corn fibers, sugarcane fibers, but sugarcane is a staple fiber, so
Maybe it depends on the
it's not
material.
suitable for yarn or textile, but that is suitable for paper making and also for biocomposite.
Yeah.
And then kenaf is also one of the good materials, good fibers, and also bamboo.
Yeah.
Like you also did the
I
bamboo.
would try to use by bamboo also because they have a lot very strong fibers. Okay, Dr. Serena, do you have any question from FB, or from the outside? Dr. Kiza, do you have any question?
Tak ada. I have a question.
Okay, who is that? Oh,
Ni,
and Hadi, as usual. Okay, please open your camera first.
my camera, alamak, rambut tak betul.
Handsome guy.
Kita pakailah kopiah ke apa
Handsome
tu.
guy in our school.
Ada dekat rumah at home. Tak nampak ke muka I?
Nampak dalam.
Okay, hi. Assalamualaikum. Siti Rohaya.
Ya, apa khabar doktor?
Baik. Alhamdulillah. I just want to know in regards to, I mean, thank you so much for your for your findings and your research and sharing with all of us. And I just want to know whether do you find any problem in terms of health issues in handling all this kind of research, because it could and it would in future, because you know you involve with chemical stuff, kan? Do you
Okay.
come across with that, or is there anything that you want to share with us in regards to health issues?
Okay, as for me, there's no problem. Because I use all the SOP. You need to wear mask, clothes. The jacket,
Lab coat.
lab coat. Okay, and also glove. Before you using all the chemicals. Okay, so if you follow the SOP, there's no problem. Okay, for health issue, and also but sometimes you tired because you have to spend almost 24 hours. I can say that a day in lab. So you just imagine you from morning until night you doing a test until you get the fine and good result for your findings. Okay, so that is my challenge lah actually. Other than that, there's no problem for me.
Okay,
Dr.
thank
Hadi.
you.
I think I want to add a little bit about the question from Dr. Hadi, which is when we go for the health issue, maybe what Dr. Hazi want to say is when you play with the chemical put in the fabric yarns or everything, we need to control the quality of chemical because in the end the product will used by the consumer. Some of the consumer will allergic because from the chemical dia ada berbeza kan, ada acid borax, so maybe the percentage of chemical that you put inside the textile, is it inside the fabric, is it you have any formula or standards that you follow?
Okay, actually these have not have been tested to consumer yet. So I'm not sure whether inshallah try to ask consumer whether not consumer actually, it's a user.
Kena masuk etik, kena lepas etik
Etik.
etik approval etik, because we want to test.
The chemical use not very much lah, tak terlalu banyak.
Dia ada percentage kan, kalau untuk pengguna not more than 10 or 20, lower than 20.
I think there's no problem in terms of that one chemical reactions or whatever, because once you follow the right procedure, there's no problem for that fiber to be commercialized.
Okay. Any question?
Thank you.
Safiza from Fine Arts Department or from us, from outside, from UITM, we have Mr. Diaudin, our postgraduate. Do you have any question? Student also can ask the question, don't be shy. Okay, this is the the product that you, the end product, the application. Still there, you can do more.
Hi, Dr. Siti.
Of design.
Hi.
Hi. This is Safriza. It's quite interesting presentation. In terms of findings and research. I think the EFB fibers, it's been around. The research about EFB fibers has been around for more than 10 years, I think.
Yes.
So I just want to ask about the potential of commercialization. So it's more than 10 years or 15 years, but still yet they hardly can find a form of, I don't know, fabrics or shoes or what, fashion industries that use the FB fibers. I don't know, personally, do you think that, what is the main problem for commercialization of these FB fibers? That's my question.
Okay.
In terms of commercialization.
Pardon? Ulang balik?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So in terms of commercialization, I think what is the personally what is the main issues or problems that you can see, or I don't know, in terms of commercialization that cannot bring these EFB fibers um, or further. I don't know. What do you think?
Actually, I can say that the main issue is these fibers never been explored by our scholars, researcher, and also industry actually. So the first person I can say that it's me. I'm doing this research for almost more than 10 years. And the second
Okay.
one is from Indonesia.
Okay.
That scholar did the same thing, but never been recognized by their industry, by Indonesian industries and their industries, and also Indonesian government and also Malaysian government, because we never, expose this research to industry as well. So I think
Have you ever been bring this research to MPOB? No.
no,
Malaysian.
but I went to MPOB library,
Okay.
but the only GLC, right?
Okay.
GLC. Felder is a GLC or what?
No, no, no. They are under Malaysian government.
Okay, the only one approached me is Felder, but that one is 5 years ago when
So
I
basically, they are not interested
they interested, but for them it's quite tough to
to sell the thing.
set everything, and also what we call all the machineries that we have to use. Okay, so
I mean,
when
to convince them to invest and etc. That kind of things, is it?
this is barrier, problem for them lah untuk
Mm.
untuk guna pakai that material. Actually, this is very good for me, as what I see, because very valuable. We have so many natural sources in Malaysia, but we never use that natural sources. Okay, the problem with us, we doesn't have a technology. We have to apply, okay, import that technology to our country. Like when I was in India before this, I went to Citra. There's there's a few missionaries, tools that I use in India. So we doesn't have in Malaysia that tools, that missionaries. I think that is a problem for us untuk untuk nak pergi lebih jauh, but like I said, natural sources so many in Malaysia, but in terms of technology and in terms of the government itself need to really open their eyes to help us in terms of research and in terms of commercialize this product, this material.
I think this is quite common. It's not just you. Other researchers dealing with the research, and then you suppose that you are not the person who are going to sell all of things. I think you need to work it out with RCMO, because I think this is something. To me, this is something, and then you need to bring it further in terms of commercialization, etc. I think high time for you to bring this maybe to RCMO and then work it out for them to help you out with the commercialization, etc. I think that's the thing. That is my personal view. It's my personal view. Okay, that's all from me.
Okay, we have one question. If you look at the chat, comment or question from Prof. Shanti related to product commercialization and economics. What is the cost that is involved, high or low? and the potential for commercialization. So macam soalan sama macam Prof
Okay.
tadi.
Like I said just now, we use two types of tests, scientific tests, okay, scientific and traditional tests, which is a non-scientific test. So in scientific, it's quite high. You have to deal with all the technologies, but when you use a traditional way, this is very low because the material that you get is free and cheap. You can get from plantation, from mill, and also the bleaching materials, and also the dye materials. This is all below than 50 ringgit. Okay, so I can say that if you use high technology, you can produce more. But if you use uh, traditional way, the only thing that you can do is you can apply in textile, in craft, and also in what fashions and textile. Okay, for example, like I showed just now, shoes making. Okay, you can produce shoes, and you can also produce handbag and basket handbag, craft products. This very potential for craft industry actually.
Dr. Siti Rohaya, I think it's very interesting. I find the fabric and like the shoes all really fascinating. I think I'm just following from Dr. Safrizal's questioning about product commercialization because at the end of the day, it boils to okay, how can we make this a commercialized project as well as how can we sustain it? So as you put it, there are two ways. One, if you use the traditional method, it'll be good for you to convince people if you can also have like the finance worked out. Look, this is so much that was spent. Okay, this is the outcome and this is the possible like ROIs lah. What is your returns that you can anticipate? And then considering that palm oil is such a big business in Malaysia, and we have so much of all these natural resources just going to waste, if we use a large scale, what is the potential for it? Because if there's something that can be worked here, I think it is something which is so attractive. All right, because your end product is so attractive. The question that will always hit any investor is how much do I need to invest? And what is it that I can reap out of this investment? You see, so I think it's actually very nice, and maybe if you can, work with the relevant people and your department, as how can we make this as a flagship project for your department or something like that for the school? It is something that's very promising. Thank you very much for the interesting talk.
Thank you, Prof. Santi.
Okay, please don't forget to fill up the registration form to collect CST and CPD for staff. Follow the link as given. So we have one last question from student, undergrad student I think, from Manlin. Product design student. Assalamualaikum, Dr. Siti Rohaya. I'm undergrad student and currently doing final year project which is turning a waste material to a product. Are there any tips for us that start from zero on how to do better research on this? Something that we have to concern with? Is there any guidelines or pattern of research for us to follow?
Okay. The first thing you have to do literature review. Okay, and then go for the fiber extraction process. Try to find one fibers which is local fibers. Okay, local fiber. We have, like I said just now, we have so many natural local fibers. So try to find local fibers, natural local fibers. Okay, and then start for study about fiber extraction process, because the important part in this research is fiber extraction process. Then you can go for other testing. if you're interested in materials, okay, the most important part is extraction process. If you go to my class material studies, I will explain why fiber extraction process is important in develop your valuable products.
Okay, I think that's all for now. So thank you very much, Dr. Siti Rohaya, and for your very interesting research and presentation. Also, thank you very much for all of you, students, staff, and undergraduate and postgraduate. Hopefully we will meet again in the next month for the next ROF with different presenter. And I wish you good luck, Dr. Siti, for your future and for your research. And don't forget to fill out your CPD point and CSD through our link.
Oh,
Okay.
Dr. Suhaili,
Yeah.
I have a few research on related to fibers.
Okay.
Related to material actually. If boleh promote?
Boleh. Okay.
Okay, if you are interested in doing your master or your PhD in material study related to fibers, you can email me because I have a few topic which is I think quite interesting for you to explore. Okay, so do message me or email me. Thank you very much for watching my presentation today.
Okay. Okay. So that's all for now. Thank you very much to all of you for joining this ROF. So we hopefully will meet again next month. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.